Assalamu alaikum. It's after a long day yesterday. Today seems a bit more relaxed. And I must say, I found the panel before this morning is very stimulating. And I'd like to thank all the panelists in front of you. For the rest of the program, actually, this is the last session we are going to hold. What I'd like to do, I'd like to show you just 5 slides, I think, altogether, about how the Muslim NGOs should get together and form a platform and maybe react on the issues relating to the Muslims and Muslim world together. At least we can start discussing this kind of platform or coming together. This is going to take about 5 to 10 minutes at most. And then I'm going to call some of my colleagues up here and give the microphone to you. And I'd like you to give your opinions, who hasn't actually, those of you who haven't spoken especially, about the whole event, about the coup attempt, about the platform ideas. And maybe we are better finish by 1:45, and then, because the Friday prayer is about 1 o'clock here, I would recommend for male friends to go upstairs to the main hall of the mosque, which is, I think you must see before you leave the country. And there is a section at this level for the female friends. After that, we are going to go to lunch. We originally planned a dinner together in some place outside the university complex, but quite a few friends are leaving this evening. So, for the benefit of those, we sort of combine the lunch and dinner together, as our Aisha Betul likes to call it, lunch/dinner, after the Friday prayer. Okay, after all those announcements, this is an idea. We were discussing with some colleagues that the NGOs in the Muslim countries, and also the NGOs formed in the West by the Muslims, should be under one umbrella, or not even an umbrella. It could be very loose connection, a network that we could sort of inform each other about about the news from our own countries, anything that's coming up, and anything relating to the Muslims and Muslim world, we could inform each other. This could be just a loose mailing list or just a website, but could be formed in the form of formal meetings once a year, twice a year, could be. But before all this, I think we need to talk about the need, the aim, the values of this thing. What I am imagining anyway. This is. First of all, why do we need some platform? I think it is, you can increase, this list can be much longer, but I just put a few of them there. First of all, especially in the West, Islamophobia is rising. We need to come together and make plans, strategies, develop strategies to combat this Islamophobia, because it hits back the Muslims, especially in the poor countries. We need to combat with this one. Second issue is that, as we see in the Syrian case, just in the border of Turkey, we have got about 3 million Muslims that we don't know the exact number, so to speak. Frankly, we don't know the exact number. We have got 3 million registered Syrian refugees in our country. And yesterday you heard about the plans that we are trying to accommodate them, trying to find them jobs, trying to give them citizenship and so healthcare, education. There are so many problems that we need to deal with. But it is not only the case of Syria and Turkey, it is other parts of the world as well. This issue is needs that the civil society and Muslim NGOs action. Okay, there could be refugees in one country, but we need to find ways to give them proper education, proper housing, proper clothing, etc. The third point is, especially at the political level, this is not something we can solve from today to tomorrow, but all the Muslim land, Muslim world has been made a playground. This is what we saw in Iraq. This is what now we are seeing in Syria, and we saw this one in Libya. And you know that I don't need to name any of them, but this the land that Muslims live is made a playground for their war games. So we need to think about this and then see what we can do about it. And we also, on top of all these, we have got very artificial quarrels that we talk about in the Muslim world. And somebody is taking our land from us, and we are still discussing trivial stuff. So we need to get to the reality, wake up for the reality. And also, it's the most damaging and also most devastating of all is the Muslim Brotherhood is being replaced by other ideas, like sectarian ideas, like ethnic ideas. This is fed to the through our textbooks, through media, through social media, and so on and so forth, and we fall for it. We need to, again, go back to our factory settings, go back to the Muslim Brotherhood. So what can we do? What can we do? We need to come together, return to our book, the Quran, take no one as a role model but the Prophet Muhammad. We need to invest on our human capitals. We need to raise knowledgeable and competent and inquisitive generations. That is our main problem. We lack human capital. We need to bank on it. And we don't need to look for enemies inside. We need to look wider, because whoever is inside actually is played by the outside. So we need, again, maybe go back to the first item. We need to stick together. Again, we can increase this list. We can add more things there, but I think that's the essence of what we need to do, or what I think it's a cure. Sorry. So, what can we do as a platform? These are the ideas that, what the aim should be. What's the purpose of this platform should be the question. You can see that you can read the ballpoints from there, but I think I'd like to read it with you. First of all, establish a network among the civil societies, non-governmental organizations, and non-profit foundations and trusts like WAQFs in order to create awareness on the issues related to the Muslim world and Muslims. That's the main aim should be. We need to, I stress here, non-governmental and non-profit especially, because when you deal with issues on governmental level, there are politics that that affects your decisions, that affects, sometimes blurs your vision. And when there is profit in it, when there's money involved in it, again, you may not see the picture clearly. So especially those two are I think it's important. We need to concentrate on the protection of the rights of the individuals. This is whether it be Muslims and non-Muslims. I don't distinguish here. On the rights level, there is nothing that we can do. It's whether or Muslim or non-Muslim. We can separate. We need to work on the individual rights. Share and spread knowledge and experience in order to facilitate the human development and education of individuals and society. We need to raise, as in the previous slide I mentioned, that knowledgeable, competent, and inclusive generations. First individuals and then the society. We need to ways to better educate them at the individual level and also at the group level. We need to promote peace. That is, I think, very important, especially with the previous slide where I showed that the Islamophobia in the West is fed by the actions of terrorist organizations in the Muslim world. So we need to, again, promote most. Develop means to enhance sustainable cooperation among the member organizations. If we are going to come together, we need to, this shouldn't be just a one-off thing. We need a long-term sustainable plans. And social changes doesn't happen in one day. Social changes takes years. And you heard yesterday, this organization, we call it terrorist organization, and some friends didn't like the idea of calling terrorist organization, but some call something else, it's fine. But there's a phenomenon here, which attacks people, is actually seeded 40 years ago. Is being bred and fed 40 years for one day's action. That's a long-term planning. And that planning wasn't made by Turkish people. The last item on the list is create awareness on the culture and values of Islam among Muslims and develop means to promote these values. I think being a Muslim, one scholar said, is above being a human being. We need to have human values and we need to put our Muslim values on top of it. But in the Muslim world nowadays, we even lack the human values, let alone the Muslim values. So we need to work on first our human values and then try to be a Muslim afterwards, maybe. This is, I think, what the aim should be. Again, the list is just a short list. This could be increased if you wish. And we need to have values, first of all. I put two. I think they are the essence of everything we need to think about it. First of all, no ethnic, racial, sectarian, or dissociative language to be used or reference to be made in rhetoric, statement, or actions undertaken or supported by the platform. This platform shouldn't allow any of these separatist things like the sectarian ideas, like the ethnic ideas, and so on. The only thing is the Muslim brotherhood. That's what we need to work on it. We need to go back to our, as I said earlier, go back to our factory settings. Our factory settings is Allah created as a Muslim. And we need to go back there. And also, no sympathy can be shown or no endorsement or propagation of the actions of any terrorist or terror organization or terror groups to be made or accepted by the platform. These are the values I think we should be at least the two main values we should have if we are going to have a platform together. How this could work? Just this is the last slide. Each member organization should have an equal voting, forming a general assembly, maybe. Maybe we can consider if individual membership as well. Some people may not be in one tied to an affiliated to an NGO, but still could be part of this. Maybe, as I said, 7 members could be elected as an executive body for this platform. And this could be for 2 years term, 4 years term, and then you can just run the thing. Maybe we could elect an Secretary General for this platform to run the day-to-day activities. We could either choose a base country. The center of the platform would be administered in one country, or it can move in this year, for example, Istanbul, next year Jakarta, the following year London, and so on. It could be different. We could, as I said, we could just establish this one on a on internet as well. We don't even need to see each other in this technological age. We can have a totally electronic platform as well if you wish to, and then maybe this could be administered from one country. Then that's probably easier. As I said, we could have regular meetings, like once a year, twice a year. This could work like we could say this is an Istanbul forum, for example. Everybody comes to Istanbul once a year, 2 or 3 days. We choose maybe better places. This time was our first time, and we had probably have some faults, but next time we could do better. Or we could say, okay, this year we were in Istanbul, we met in Istanbul. Next year we can meet somewhere else. That's also open to discussion. But anyway, in any case, I think as a member of an NGO, we need to think about the issues. We shouldn't just be blocked with our little, that's a wrong word maybe, but sometimes we get tied up with local things, and then we lose the big picture. We need to look at the big picture. We need to look at from the world's perspective. We need to look at the world as the powers look at. We need to look at the world from their window, and then we can maybe try to make a difference for our people or in our world. Okay, those are the things. I think that's about it, what I'm going to say about this platform.